Well, from matters of constitution review to the oil sector, of course, which impacts on our daily lives. What exactly is happening between Dangote Petrochemical Refinery and the marketers? Kelly, you have that one next.
Yes, so I mean, since early September, this dispute has been ongoing for quite some time now. Let's see how we can unpack it, unpack this conversation, because I mean, I said when two elephants fight, the grass suffer. But in this case, I'm perhaps a bit excited they are fighting because more revelations have been, we now have been seeing more revelations as this fight and dispute has been ongoing. But we're joined now by Mr. Billy Gillis-Harry, who joins us live on the program. He's the president of PETROAN, and he will join us very, very shortly. I understand he's going to join us very shortly. But I mean, there's been this back and forth. Perhaps, first of all, there was we thought they had reached an agreement when there was this conciliation meeting, and some agreements were stated out there. But even after the conciliation meeting, even after the agreements were reached, again, we find ourselves back in the room with these two, I should say three actually, Dangote Refinery, Nupeng, and of course Dabman, fighting accusations and counter-accusations. We can even see even the likes of Femi Otoda commenting and asking the marketers to, what, I think it's time to innovate and change how we've been doing things. And some are also blaming Dangote and say, what, you are a monopolist, you want to take over the market, you want to run us out of business. So we have to unpack this, because for the average Nigerian, is the fact that what is the price of fuel when I go to fill my car or my genset or my motorcycle or my tricycle? That's the concern for the average Nigerian.
The conflict in proper perspective. Dangote had announced the planned purchase of 4,000 trucks, for which the company was supposed to commence direct delivery of petrol to marketers, and in fact 1,000 of those trucks had since come into the country. The rest, we believe, according to reports, are on the way from China. And of course, the marketers kicked against this, because that would be eliminating the middlemen in the value chain, some of whom have been in the business, for years, and you have them with associations. They come in associations, so and that's part of the problem. Did they anticipate, this regime of domestic production of petrol? Remember, we had operated on an import template, and that's what Mr. Dangote's friend, Mr. Tedela, was speaking to, that change must come, that in other countries of the world, depots were built on an import template. And he commended his friend for, his bold investment and his innovation. So what are the consequences of this? This is not the beginning of this conversation. We had, as a matter of fact, had Dr. Billy Gillis-Harry on this particular subject matter at the time that the information first came through. And he spoke about, trucks within his own association, businesses, jobs that are at the risk of a loss, should this come through. So perhaps Dabman is not just the only association that will be impacted here. But of course, there are different shades of interest, that are involved. Dangote had spoken to, had called out Nupeng for, what was said to be a planned introduction of 50,000 naira on each truck, that it would increase the pump price of petrol. But Nupeng had not in any way confirmed or denied the planned introduction of 50,000 naira on each truck for petrol delivery. So many reports are coming through. There's a report also that the court had barred Nupeng from going on strike. This is also, part of the issues that we should explore and see how this conflict can be resolved. And of course, more importantly, the businesses that may be lost, what are the alternatives, that are being planned for them? We understand that Dr. Billy Gillis-Harry has since joined us. Dr. Harry, I would like you to weigh in on this one. Has the position of PETROAN changed in any way from what it was the last time to this direct delivery of petrol to marketers?
Sorry, I didn't quite hear what you said.
I would like to know if the position of your association has changed on the consequences of Dangote's new business model, which is a direct delivery of petrol to marketers.
All right. Well, on the surface, on the face of it, it looks like it's a very good business policy. We buy products from Dangote, and then Dangote delivers it free for us. The first question that bothers us in our mind is that this is a service that is paid for and is also contributing to the growth of the economy. So what will be the end result? That would be our first concern. And my members, PETROAN members, buy from Dangote consistently. We do not have any reason not to support Dangote's business. All we are asking is that the business model of Dangote should be inclusive. Every stakeholder should be on the table to be able to discuss how best to serve Nigerians. Because now, for instance, when product gets to my station in Port Harcourt or Bayelsa or Delta, for instance, how many days will the product get finished? And then when do I get another product? Will 4,000 tankers do the work to be reaching out to every nook and cranny? That is a big concern for us. So there is already a system by which we have been taking products to our retail outlets for decades, and it has gone through processes of adjustments and new ideas coming in to be able to ensure that products get to us. The idea of CNG truck is not new to us. So many of our members have already invested in CNG trucks and also using the CNG truck. So it is not so much an innovation, that we are new to. But we want to be sure that what we want to do can be done in such a way that there's an effective division of labor across all of us, where Dangote is doing his own refining, the Depot Marketers Association is doing their storage, and then we, retail outlet owners, as the last mile in the industry, will be able to get products from almost all the depots that are in the country. So I think that model will be what advocated. So we want Dangote's refinery to be successful, but let it succeed with all of us.
Mr. Billy's Harry, that's the argument of Dangote, the fact that, this scheme is going to help reduce the cost of fuel, and then there's going to be a steady supply. But you have mentioned that there's how you have a way of doing things. You've been doing this for decades. So I wonder how you respond to the words of Dangote's friend, Femi Otadala, who is saying, you know what, guys, you have to innovate. You have to change the way you've been doing things. Perhaps it's time to change the narrative.
Well, my reaction is that talk is very easy to do, but implementation is a different thing. And I think that is not a very dependable thought or statement. Are you telling me that all the size of investment that has happened in that sector should just be forgotten? Himself was a Dharma member. We all worked together during the Riverine petroleum product distribution era. Yes, new things come, old things will go. But there are infrastructures that consistently will be tweaked to be able to serve even in these current realities. Dangote's advent is very, very welcome idea, very prompt and very timely. It gives all of us a sense of pride.
Oh dear. The network, well, we can't complain, Kelly. The network has been, more clement today than it was yesterday. But we understand, Dr. Harris's moderate position, but we want more clarity as regards what exactly his PETROAN's own negotiation is with, Dangote Refinery with regards to the delivery of petrol to marketers under their own association. So what's the nature of negotiation, and how favorable is it to them in order to ensure stability, in their petrol stations in parts of the country where they operate? And then I'd like to know from Dr. Harry specifically what he can tell us about the introduction of a 50,000 naira charge on each, truck, as reportedly proposed by, Nupeng, according to reports by Dangote. Dr. Harry, do we have you back to respond to those two gray areas?
Well, I'm not sure. I hear he's not back. Bukola, the accusations are really interesting. Dangote, for instance, accused DAPMAN members of round-tripping, diverting locally purchased products to neighboring countries. That's the accusation from Dangote accusing DAPMAN. DAPMAN has also accused Dangote, for instance, of selling the price of fuel at a cheaper rate to the international market and selling it more expensively to Nigerians. So for me, these accusations are really interesting there, and I would like to, I wish we can have Mr. Billis Harris back so we can perhaps hear from him, because he's a stakeholder, he's a major player. I'm sure he's privy to some information that we do not have. I really would have loved to hear him speak to some of these accusations.
Speaking of DAPMAN, it's important to also put it out there that we have extended an invitation to DAPMAN to respond to these allegations. In fact, in addition to that, Dangote has also dared DAPMAN to go to court to defend its own position to retain depots amid this conflict. So we hope that in the coming days, DAPMAN would come through, to respond to them so that we can have, full representation of all sides to the story, so we will not be speaking to one side alone. And Mr. Otedola, of course, Dangote's bosom friend in the business, had quite a lot to say, that has triggered these reactions. He's spoken about pioneering, this association, DAPMAN, in I believe in 1993, but with a perspective in view. If I can catch it, perhaps I'll just go through it. But the crux of what he's saying is that I'd like to read from his statement. What is DAPMAN fighting for today? To preserve a model built on fuel imports, subsidy exploitation, and outdated infrastructure. He goes on to say that era is fast disappearing. The setting up of depots was mainly to collect PFIs. No depots, no PFIs from NNPC, who were sole suppliers of gasoline at the time, and which thus led to the breeding of complacent importers whose sole agenda was on arbitrage and subsidy margins. And you know that we've seen exited.
Yes. Bukola, I'm told that we have Mr. Billis Harris back, so perhaps he can just land on his thoughts. Mr. Billis Harris, I'm not sure again where you were, but you can just perhaps land on your thoughts and follow some of our concerns and conversations here.
Yeah, what I was saying is that Mr. Tedola's thoughts, to my best review, will be a subject for debate. And he himself was a DAPMAN member, so he knows what it took for him to put investment in that area. Today he has moved on to other areas. Others have not been able to move as fast as him. So, recommending that they should scrap their investment is something that I think he probably needs to think, deeply before he gives that kind of advice. These facilities are across different parts of Nigeria: Calabar, Port Harcourt, Ogara, Lagos, and even some of them inland, to be able to help in easing the efficiency in distribution. So, I believe that DAPMAN, the leadership, can speak for themselves, but I don't think that it is a good, thought that Nigerians who have invested so much should scrap their investment.
Yes, but because you're a major player in this sector, Mr. Billis Harris, this accusation of diverting products to neighboring communities, we know how we go through a lot of hardship. Yes, I know you cannot hold brief for DAPMAN, but you're a major player. You may be hearing and seeing some things that we're not privy to.
Well, what I can tell you is that there is a new season. We all need to find a way to adapt. Errors that have been done in the past could be corrected and can be corrected. But in correcting it, we do not need to amass power in the hands of just one company or two companies. Energy is a very critical issue. It is a subject of security. So it's very, very important, that whatever...
Dr. Harry, let's quickly get this through. Let's quickly get this through. What can you tell us about reports that Nupeng is introducing a 50,000 naira charge on each truck for petrol delivery? How true is it?
Well, none of my members have paid that so far, and we are still loading from Dangote Refinery. So none of my members have reported that they have paid any money. If there are charges, I think Nupeng has the capacity to speak for themselves.
Okay, so just before we go, what arrangement do you have, or are you negotiating with Dangote Refinery amid this policy of direct delivery of petrol to marketers? Because you say that your members are still loading petrol from Dangote Refinery.
If I understand you clearly, sorry, the network is so bad. If I understand you, are you asking if the experiment is working? Is that what you're asking?
Are you loading directly from Dangote Refinery, or is Dangote Refinery delivering to your marketers under PETROAN?
I can't hear you clearly. Sorry, the network is so bad.
Okay, I'll try again. Are your members loading petrol directly from Dangote Refinery, or is Dangote Refinery delivering petrol to your members in line with its new policy? Oh dear, would have to.
Sorry, I'm not hearing you at all.
We're totally out of time, Dr. Biligilis Harry. We must end the conversation at this point, but we'll try to bring you back subsequently, such that we can exhaust all sides to it. And thank you very much for your time on the program. Dr. Biligilis Harry is the president of PETROAN.
And just to put it out there again, that we had reached out to the Nupeng president, Mr. Williams Akporeha, to come and say his own side of the story and his members, so Nigerians can know better, especially with these accusations. And he is not giving us positive feedback here. So Mr. Williams Akporeha, Nupeng president, would like to hear from you, Dapman as well. We'd like to have you on the show so we get to know exactly what is playing out in the oil and gas sector. But that's perhaps a fine place to anchor our conversation this Tuesday morning. Thank you indeed for staying with us here on the program. I am Kelly Egiga. Sunrise Daily is next.
And there's more insight to come through the week. Join us again tomorrow. I am Bukola Koka.